Alrighty, boys. So, today we are going to be following up on the discussion video, Yu-Gi-Oh! Takes no skill to topple YCS, confirmed, discussion and proof. So, it was a discussion video where we went ahead and talked about it doesn't take skill to topple YCS. And overall, a lot of you guys were on both sides of the fence. I want to say like half of you thinks the game takes no skill, half of you guys think that the game does take some skill. So I'm going to go ahead and rebuttal to some of the responses that you guys posted. You guys also have been sending me videos that other Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTubers have been showcasing off their thoughts and also backing up what they have to say. What's strange is two people like called me out, and what's funny is I have like hard evidence on that. But anyways, first off, this is like the overall point, and I think a lot of people just wanted to touch upon this. And Kanye West 315 over here said, being consistent topper does take skill. Some people can get lucky at an event and top, but to do it consistently is not easy. Now, skill and knowledge to me are two completely different things. There isn't any skill shots in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is something that I did mention. But there's also the whole idea of pay to win. There's a lot of subjects that we'll be covering that a lot of people you guys talked about. So anyways, I would say Kanye West is correct on this, 100%. Being able to win consistently, you do need to understand a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! You have to know the rulings, missing the timing, and, you know, simultaneous things, you know, go in, you know, simultaneous effects go on chain, whatever the term is that you guys like to use for that. Anyways, it's totally possible to win a YCS, no doubt, without fully understanding every mechanic of Yu-Gi-Oh! You could be a mediocre player and win with some of these very strange decks. The reason why I started off with this picture over here is the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2010. For those of you guys that didn't know what won World Championship in 2010, it was a deck called Frog FTK. You pretty much just won. You didn't interact with your opponent. There was, I want to say, very little skill or no skill involved is what a lot of people would like to say when it comes to this deck. Because you do not interact with your opponent. All you do is you throw a Mass Driver down, and then you start distributing all the frogs in your entire deck with Substitoad, Ronin Totem, and then you just burn them for game. There is no Ghost Ogre. There wasn't Valor at the time. Back in the day, we had to play this card called Hanawata to actually prevent ourselves from actually getting destroyed because it would prevent you from taking damage. So it was funny. This card was like a $5 card, but this card did not interact with your opponent at all. You never outskilled your opponent. Majority of the time. Majority of the time was like, I activate this, okay, go through all my cards, and I win. And this won Worlds because people were saying, oh, Burn doesn't win like, you know, World Championships or any of these huge events. You know, Monarch, FTKs, these don't win big events. World Championship 2010 would be an excellent example of that. Now I'm going to go ahead and showcase a few examples of other things that other people have mentioned that I'm going to go ahead and rebuttal, and it's kind of my response video on a lot of these things that people are talking about. So anyways, let's get started with our first one over here from Mega Capital G. So he claims in this video that Courtney Waller isn't a troll. Now I talked about Courtney Waller in my video showing that he just trolled his opponent by summoning a DD Crow and attacking, and he said, yeah, I just trolled, whatever, you know, I was just going to be dumb and do stupid plays, and he did win. I just want to showcase off Mega Capital G calling me out, calling me a liar, when I have video proof right here. So anyways, let me go ahead and show what Mega Capital G had to say, and then I'll show you guys proof Courtney Waller saying that he is a troll.
You know, Asian Eyes is like, oh, the guy says, no, I don't care about winning, I'm just a troll player. Like, okay, for starters, that's just a flat out lie. I don't know where you got that, and that actually just really makes me upset because I actually know Courtney Waller personally. He was on my channel before. Like, I actually know this guy in real life. You know, Courtney Waller is a player who has topped U.S. Nationals twice. He has won a YCS, and he has topped like 5 regionals. So
okay, so right here you guys can see that he said that, oh, he's an established player, he's won multiple times, but look what Courtney Waller said in a video.
Crow. I'm gonna do the first damage, 100.
So you just fucking troll that nigga with a crow?
Yeah. And who would have thought that I would 2-0 him? Like, who really thought that would happen?
You see, this is why I gotta give you respect. There was like a lot of people talking shit after the crow was mentioned. It was like, man, you cocky, you arrogant. Everybody has their own personal traits in this game, and I can say we finally got one champion that is a troll.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a troll.
There we go, right there. He didn't even think that he was going to win, and he's like, "Well, I 2-0'd him." So it really shows you guys that you don't really need the full understanding and to play everything at perfect consistency to actually win these big events. Because sometimes things just happen in card games. You can get the craziest luck, your opponent can draw bad. There's a lot of factors that go into any card game. It's not even Yu-Gi-Oh! Hearthstone, Shadowverse, any card game that is involved, there is crazy things that happen. That's one thing that, you know, I kind of do like about Yu-Gi-Oh! I will definitely admit that. That's what makes it fun, and I want to say that I enjoy playing stupid and fun stuff more than I do taking the game seriously and, you know, taking decks to YCS, because the prize pool just isn't that great for this game. Now, also there's a point that Mega Capital G made that, again, I'm going to rebuttal on, and I already showed proof that, you know, I didn't lie. I had no reason to lie and say Courtney was a troll. He said it himself. But anyways, over here, Capital G says this.
Basically, I don't know, $1,000 for Lightsworn. That was a good time where you could say, basically, if you weren't paying out, you know, $1,200 for Teledad, you didn't have the best chance of winning. But that doesn't hold true now today. If you really look at the meta, and obviously you take like Minerva out of it because she's behind a paywall, she's kind of her own little category. Dark Magician is...
Oh, talk about Dark Magician. Okay, so he's saying that, you know, Minerva is a pay-to-win card. Like, it's a paywall. Now... we're going to kind of cover the idea of pay to win. Now, everyone has a different concept of what pay to win is. These are the only Minervas right now available. It's a very expensive card. Now, back in the day when we had Crush Card, we had Teledad, we had the Necros. Those were very expensive decks too. And him saying that Minerva is behind a paywall, that is pay to win. There's so many people that would love to play Lightsworn, but they can't because of Minerva. And to say, you know, we can't count Minerva, he's saying Minerva is pay to win. There's a paywall, but you just don't count Minerva, and the game isn't pay to win. Are you seriously looking at some of the cards like these days? Pot of Desires at triple, that's almost $300. Triple Solemn Strike, $120. Triple Ghost Reaper to be able to defeat the mirror match or deal with the ABC Dragon. These are all very expensive cards. You get a play set of each one of these. A lot of kids can't afford this, and a lot of players that would love to play some of these decks simply can't because they can't afford it. Now, again, Minerva's on some next level because ain't nobody... I mean, actually, there ain't nobody that would spend $1,000 on some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's people that spend thousands of dollars on collectibles, and that's totally cool. I have nothing to take away from you guys, but I want to just say, majority of people that would love to play certain decks, they can't because, A, there's only so many of these prize cards that exist in the first place. So, like, there's a limited amount of people that can even play the deck in the first place. And then second, to top that off, they're very expensive. So, yeah, those are two problems over there. And the next thing that I wanted to touch up upon and rebuttal with this was the claim that he put over here. And this is kind of funny.
Immediately, that's not how the game works. He also goes and he talks about a whole bunch of cheating and how all the pro players are cheaters. He never actually cites his sources, which...
Oh, this is funny. You want me to cite my sources? You made a video showcasing off the top 10 players who allegedly cheated or screwed the rules of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Hierarchy. You made this video showcasing Roy St. Clair, which admitted that he was a cheater, but then also said that all the pro players do it right here.
In the past, Roy St. Clair has actually admitted to cheating, saying, quote, all the pro players do it, end quote.
You just quoted him, and you wanted me to back up my claims. You made a video talking about how all the pro players cheat, allegedly, by Roy St. Clair, which is a pro player. I don't understand why you want me to back up my claim when you made the video. Did you forget that you made this video? But anyways, the next thing that I want to touch upon is pretty funny over here. So it's...
top 8, you go 7-2 or fucking 8-1. At the end of the day, like, that shit is hard, and it's kind of like saying
it's hard. It's hard to top a, you know, event is basically what he's saying. Now, I made this. Oh, actually, hold on. We get into this one in just a second. So he's saying that it's very difficult to, you know, win certain tournaments. Do you remember, again, Frog FTK? I don't think anyone's gonna be like, whoa, that was hard. Like, I mean, you either pull off your FTK or you don't, like, or your OTK, FTK, whatever. You either do it or you don't. There's very small interactions in between. Don't get me wrong. There's probably some random time where summoning like one monster and hitting them for some damage maybe helped out, and like, it's very, very small as far as like the difficulty in that. But this was another video which I want to rebuttal on because this is basically my response to this. This is from House of Champions. A lot of you guys sent me this link of this vid, and it's fun. This is the funniest one right here.
First, Final Countdown has never won a YCS. That strategy has never won one.
Oh, never won one. Whoa, wait. This is an article by ARG. For those of you guys that know House of Champions, I did make a video in the past with Billy Brake. He's a cool guy. Not to take anything away from like any of those guys, but the thing is that I feel like this is Billy Brake worked with ARG, and House of Champions. A lot of the content was built around Billy Brake because he's a pretty established player and a lot of people know him. But anyways, that said, this is an article on ARG over here, and it's by Tyler Tabin, the guy that topped multiple times with Final Countdown. And you could read in the article, and where I highlighted it says, I took Final Countdown to YCS Philly and went undefeated in Swiss, ending in first place, taking the deck all the way to top 16 to get my second top back-to-back. So it happened multiple times. I don't really want to be any more cheeky and just say that you can read the article, House of Champions. It's there. It says back-to-back, top back-to-back. So it means it happened more than once. There's been a lot of crazy decks that have won in the past, though. I mean, heck, Monarch, FTK. A lot of people mention, oh, Frog FTK is a thing in the past, you know. Don't worry about some of those things. Konami will ban them. But yeah, but they still won those YCSs. And again, you know, whether it's YCS regional, they still win these big events. Locals, we won't talk about that. But I'd say pretty much people use regionals and YCSs for a bar of, you know, what's good, you know. But as far as that goes, there's going to be a lot of different decks even in the future that come out. Like, the grass is always tastier on the other side. I guarantee there's going to be really crazy decks that come out with this. And again, that's what I enjoy with Yu-Gi-Oh! I like seeing random crazy things top in the game. But anyways, there was also a really funny video that it got really popular. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on my older channel, but it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Vine called How to Win a YCS. And this was a video making fun of, kind of making fun of the guy that did top. I mean, obviously there is times we're going to have to play around certain things, but the thing is the deck was Infernoids. Those of you guys that don't know, that deck relies heavily off of a card called Reasoning. And I made this Vine called How to Win a YCS, and you guys loved it because that was the whole point of that deck, which was Reasoning, send a whole bunch of cards, get lucky, and, you know, you win. And a lot of people call them cheaters. I don't really want to get into calling people cheaters without video proof. Although over on House of Champions, which, like I said, I've worked with Billy Brake in the past, I have no grudge against him, but I do want to showcase off this video because people were mentioning, oh, there's a bunch of pro players that, you know, don't cheat. And some of you guys have mentioned some players. And I don't want to say this pro player is a cheater, or I use the word pro player, but the thing is that no one's really a pro player unless they're, like, creating content really on YouTube, because you can't make a living with Yu-Gi-Oh! Being competitive. It's just, it doesn't support, the prize pool doesn't support this game. But anyways, people mentioned Jeff Jones, and I don't have any grudges against Jeff Jones. My goal of this video is not to send hate over to Jeff Jones, but I just want to show you guys that, you know, some of these pro players, whether they do it intentionally or not, and this is officially on the Konami blog over here, it was a match between Jeff Jones and Joshua Graham, and it says over here, he changed his Trigodia's level and tuned it to Commander for Naturia Beast, which you actually cannot do as Trigodia's Dark, not Earth, but neither player noticed. I don't understand why in the competitive scene they didn't call this out. Like, when this happened, why don't they just say, hey, you can't do this play? Because, you know, obviously that's an illegal move, that's cheating. Whether it's intentional or not, I can't say for sure. Only Jeff Jones can say if he tried to cheat on purpose or if it was just an accident. Of course, anyone's going to say it's an accident, not calling out Jeff Jones. But House of Champions mentioned, he's like, you're taking away from the people that win these, you know, big tournaments. Well, the thing is there's a video over here, and I can show you House of Champions. Billy Brake cheated, and here is video proof. And again, I don't have any hatred towards Billy Brake. I looked up to him. He's a really cool guy, and also, you know, obviously he played one of my favorite decks. But this is a match between Billy Brake and Adam Korn, and you guys can see the cheating that goes on right here. Let me go and play it for you guys right now.
Including a drop with the Caliburn. He does have 2 level 5s out right now, so he could go for the rank 5. But it looks like he's going to special summon. Can he not? Hang on a second. Like I said, guys, I'm not familiar with how Noble Knights work.
And, Robert's the wrong card? There we go. Oh, psych, I want it in defense mode. So, if you guys didn't catch it right there, if you guys don't know what Madrat does, you have to have no other monsters to actually get that special summon. So, again, my video is not trying to hate on anyone that accidentally cheated, but if you're intentionally cheating, you know, that's a scumbag thing to do. But the thing is that you're saying that, you know, people that win these YCSs, if they do cheat. Now, that video was between Billy Brake and Adam Korn. Now, in that video, a lot of people also said Adam Korn did cheat, but the thing is, again, I don't want to focus too much on that. But I want to ask you guys this thing. If a YCS champion did cheat, which Ura did do when he was playing his Pendulum deck, I mean, there's video on that, which, if you guys didn't watch the previous video, I'll link it down below, which is the, you know, this is the part 2 of it. I showed you guys where the guy straight up cheated. And the thing is that I want to know, what do you guys think about people that cheat? Do you think that they should have their YCS medals or their establishments taken away? Because to me, I think it's really unfair that someone wins a tournament because they cheat. And that's just the way I see it. You guys can disagree with me on that, but I feel like if you win, you shouldn't have cheated. Whether it was intentional or not, the other person could have won if you didn't cheat. And again, that's the point of, you know, a discussion video, is to open it up with you guys. But I want to end this video on this statement saying that there's going to be a lot of crazy things that come out. Again, the grass is always greener on the other side is definitely going to be a card that opens up a lot of crazy, you know, win conditions, and certain decks will take advantage of them. And you could definitely win a YCS, in my personal opinion, without fully knowing all the cards. And you might only win one YCS, you might win 2. It doesn't matter. If you win a YCS, top 16, top 8, you still have that title. Regardless of how bad your deck was or how much you know about the game, I still think that you deserve that win. Now, again, if you cheated to win, that's a completely different story, and that's where I want to end off this video. Because, again, Yu-Gi-Oh! To me is not a game 100% based off of skill to win. You can win without knowing a lot of knowledge about cards. You don't need to know the rulings of a lot of things. You can go into the game with certain decks and win. And it might just happen once, it might happen never. But the thing is, it's possible, and that's where I want to end off the video. But if you guys want to gain us more about skill, you guys can check out my channel for some Overwatch. I just made this new channel called Slager Games, and I upload a lot of other games, specifically like Overwatch, a lot of FPS titles. But anyways, Infinite Warfare is also coming out really soon. But anyways, you guys can let me know your thoughts on any of the things that we talked about, and feel free to disagree. Like, I encourage you guys to have a discussion, but when you guys attack other people and say you're an idiot, you know, at least you can say you're an idiot, but then back it up with some claims over here. And oh, to answer, wait, where's that Mega Capital G video? So his $150 challenge, by the way, he said that he would give me $150 if I was to go win a regional, top 8 regional. Like, you know how easy that is, so easy. But the thing is I don't really want to spend the money for some of the cards. If Capital G, if you want to give me a full Minerva deck, I will for sure do it. And that's the deck that I think is really good. It's too expensive of a deck. Like, if I wanted to play the game seriously, I think that this card, for what I want to build, is kind of required. And on top of that, $150 wouldn't be enough anyways, because like, if you're his offer, by the way, guys, was I'll give you $150 if you can top 8. I can't even build a deck with $150, and to actually go to an event is multiple days. I can make that so much faster. Like, the time it would take, the incentives are too low for me to go there, is what I'm trying to say. And he's like, oh man, he's gonna bitch out of this, but the thing is that, again, it's not a big enough incentive for anyone that's logical. Like, you get a playset of these, you get a playset of these, you got a playset of these, and you get a few other cards, you're looking at like over $500. So the $150 challenge is way too low for anyone that's logical to go ahead and take a few days off, and then on top of that, if you win, you only get $150. I'm sorry, it's just 2 out of 10, man. But anyways, that's my response video. You guys can let me know how you feel about it down below in the comment section below. But till then, FrogFTK, 100% skill confirmed, boys. Oh, and also go to my channel for Overwatch, because that's much better content. 10 out of 10. I'm outie.